Hello, everybody. We are live tonight for the Self Reliance Festival live stream. And we do these about every other week just to talk about what's up with the festival. We started doing this last October to keep people informed about what's happening with the festival because it turns out people buy tickets and wonder like how do I get there and what should I bring and what does camping look like, and there's all sorts of questions that happen. And so I thought, well, we'll just do live video and start highlighting speakers talking about how the food's going to work. We have a really good food plan this time, so I'm super stoked about that. And so if you're just joining the live stream and this is your first time, give us a subscribe at the Self-Reliance Festival YouTube channel. If you're coming in through Living Free in Tennessee or Special Operations Equipment, there's also a Self-Reliance Festival channel. What's happening with the channel is we're starting next week to put out some just highlighted areas. Hello, Aurora. How are you? Good to see you. We're putting out some highlighted things from last Self-Reliance Festival, the recordings of sessions. Rebecca's helping me with that. We're doing all sorts of fun stuff. And of course, sometimes I stream the Tuesday live to Self-Reliance Festival. I did not do that this Tuesday because we were doing it over Jack Spirko's StreamYard instead of mine. And I don't have Self-Reliance Festival channel hooked up there, although I probably could add it. I'll have to talk to him about that. Anyway, so here's how this goes. The question is, what do you all want to hear about the festival? I can tell you some really cool stuff that's happened recently. I talked to Bruce DeVries, he was the fellow who did the biochar demo last year. I had to put my phone on mute because inevitably it will ring in the middle of a live stream, despite how many tell everybody I'm going to be live. Nobody actually remembers. That's just life. It's okay. Your world does not revolve around my schedule, now does it? Anyway, I talked to Bruce DeVries, and there has been so much interest in biochar in our network. He is going to come back and show you how to make biochar again. And I can tell you this, since Self-Reliance Festival, I've been playing with one of the byproducts of biochar, which is wood vinegar, which is basically what you would call liquid smoke in the store. I bought some wood. I didn't make it. I bought some pre-made wood vinegar made from bamboo biochar. And I used it in my garden in a mixer. Hello, Evan. Let me know if you want to hop on. We'll get you the link. Actually, anybody who wants to hop on and say something, I will get you the link. But you have to email me, Nicole@livingfreeintennessee.com. That's NICOLE at livingfreeintennessee.com. I've just pulled up my email so I can see if you email me. And then that's cool. But with the wood vinegar, I used about 2 teaspoons to a gallon of water, and then I put it in my plant sprayer, and I did a foliar spray with that and some Garrett juice, which is just a fertilizer foliar spray, on my cabbages, on my broccoli, on my Brussels sprouts. And this year, for the first year, I did not have cabbage worm problems. And I mean, there's some things that nibbled on the leaves, but it really helped keep the pests away. And I used it on other parts of my garden. The thing is, it also keeps the pollinators away. So like your squash plants, when they start blooming, you need little bugs in there. So you don't want it to be too close to that. But it made a huge difference in my garden this year. And so when Bruce offered to do biochar again, I was like, yes, we want to see it. And Mark, good evening. Jason, good evening. Good to see you guys. So that was cool. But then he was like, or I could do a trapping demo. I mean, what would you say to that if somebody said, or I could do a trapping demo? The answer was, why not both? So he's going to do a trapping demo as well. You can see my bed frame I still haven't put together in the back here. I think that's going to be really neat. Now, my person doing the mapping, how to use a paper map demo, had something come up in his family, is not able to come. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I can show people how to read a map, I can set up a treasure hunt on the SOE compound and run that part, I'd still love to have the mapping session. So let me know about that. Now, Pat from Uncensored Tactical offered to do a lock picking session. And so we've added that to the lineup. So there's a lot of things coming together for this, and I'm really excited. I'm glad to see Evan and Chuck in the live stream. So Evan Dixon from Radio Made Easy has a 2-day class on Thursday and Friday before the event. If you have not signed up, it's Zero to Hero with ham radio, and it teaches you how to actually like tactically use the radio, and you leave the class with your first setup, which is pretty darn cool. That's at selfreliancefestival.com. Grab your tickets now before prices go up on August 1st. Chuck Peoples is doing a homestead medical course, what to do after you've stopped the bleed and have to actually do wound care. So it's an advanced wound care class. It'll be during Self-Reliance Festival, but there's an upcharge for that. And that is also at selfreliancefestival.com. Definitely get your tickets now. They are refundable minus the credit card fees up until August 15th. So if you think you want to do it, but you're not 100% sure, but you want to secure your spot and you want to get it at the lower price, you can do that. It's also transferable after that. Like if you're like, I don't want this anymore, but this other person wants it, you can transfer it, no charge for that. We just need to know who's getting your ticket if that happens. Maps are amazing, says Letty. Well, come down and do the map class. What are you thinking? Anyway, it's also volunteer time. So we're looking for volunteers. And if you would like to volunteer, I'm going to show you what to do here. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get the website up. Volunteers have really helped keep the festival going. So all you got to do is go to selfreliancefestival.com, click on contact, fill out that form, and let us know that you want to volunteer. The reason I'm asking you to fill out the form rather than email me is that everybody on the coordinating staff for Self-Reliance Festival can tell that, can look at that and respond to it. So then you don't get stuck behind the Nicole bottleneck if I'm out of town or not seeing my email or on the road, because I have about 2 good days of email processing every week right now, and they respond faster than I do. So that's how we're doing that. And so what a volunteer might do is help make sure the water coolers are topped off, or they may end up working down in the parking area showing people where to park, or they might be at registration, or they might help keep things going as far as making sure the garbage is taken out, or we might need help making sure video cameras are turned on. We're going to have 2 stages again this year, or this time, and we're actually going to have 2 tents rather than the garage and the stage. And then there are daytime workshops going on in the garage, or Janet Szabo is coming to go over like sewing from a practical standpoint. And she will have sewing machines in there and show you how to, like put a patch on your pants if you have a hole in them, for example, or any of those things. You can pretty much have her show you anything. And something like that will end up happening in the garage space. So that's how the space is going to work out. And of course, it's going to be a really, it's going to be more hands-on this time. I am going to be doing a cheese making demonstration. That's right. Or somebody who hears this and is like, I know how to make cheese and I want to do a demonstration, is going to reach out to me and tell me they want to do it. I can source the milk. I have the supplies. I can do the demo. I have time to do the demo this time. But if somebody else wants to do it, I'd rather highlight your cheese making skills, especially if you sell cheese, because then if you make the cheese, you can sell the cheese. But something that I wanted to also do today, last time we did a live stream, I kind of focused in on how Self-Reliance Festival has changed people's life. And this email came in after that. I just wanted to read it to you. It's from Pack Rat. I met Autumn Dawn, who is Dawn Sutton, who's on the coordination team, for the first time in person at Self-Reliance Festival. And I have followed her channel, her YouTube channel, ever since. They are great people. I met Ken, who did a beekeeping demonstration, and his patch of turf outside of Nashville. We spent many an evening together talking. I met Jack and Nicole and company in person. Jake R. of Real Estate Freeze Dryer Too Many Questions fame. That's Jake Robinson. And so many others are living free doing their own thing. And so what Pack Rat got was in-person relationships with people he had already known, but then he found new people to interact with and then has continued to develop those relationships. And the thing that's cool about Self-Reliance Festival is how it started, right? We just asked everybody who listened to us, do you have something you can show us? And an amazing collection of sessions showed up at the first one. Like, I had no idea how cool y'all were until we did that first one. And I think keeping that element of what do you want to learn about? What do you want to show somebody? What do you know that somebody else could know is really important. Hello, Arthur Leslie. Welcome to the live stream. Guys, put your questions or comments or something you want me to talk about in all caps if you want to hear anything. But what we have heard event after event after event is people who are really excited about who they get to meet. And it's not just the famous speakers, it's the people that we meet who we didn't know are interested in a lot of the same things we are, who live near us, even if we don't live near where the festival is in Camden. And that's a great example of it. I keep hearing story after story after story about that. Now, you all know that food has been a challenge. So the gas station at the entrance to Special Operations Equipment cooks really, really excellent food. And they have pretty much kept us running for these events. Like, they have sold a lot of food. They've fed a lot of people. It's really good. They're called Big Daddies. They make sushi. And you're like, do I really want gas station sushi in a state that's landlocked? It's a valid question. I would ask the same question. I haven't had their sushi personally, but everybody I talk to who's had sushi there really liked it. And I've talked to the owner, and he was a chef, like a really good chef. So he's able to process through decent food. So the food there is good. However, some people just want food on compound. And so we've had different things over time. We've had a food truck in, we've done our own thing. And last time we had a food truck scheduled and it fell through. And what happened was the Allards from Grumpy Acres and Andy Higginbotham, who was just there and knows how to handle food, and Chef Brett bailed us out. I was like, we got to feed people. And we went to the store and bought hamburger and hot dog makings and chips and put them out and sold them. And y'all ate a lot of hamburgers. So at the end of the event, they were like, let's put our heads together on how we're going to do food next time so that this never happens again. Because we could have done, like the Allards had freeze-dried meals that people were buying that you might want to store long-term. And they were like, just cook it now because I'm hungry. And so let's see, I've got the plan. So the Allards are going to bring 700 meals, and they're going to do Friday dinner, Saturday breakfast, Saturday lunch, Saturday dinner, Sunday breakfast, and Sunday lunch. And they're going to do breakfast burritos, eggs, sausage and pancakes, chicken and turkey wraps, vegan wraps, vegetarian wraps, loaded nachos, barbecue sandwiches, and tamales. And they're asking me for some other infrastructure. So that's just one example of what's happening. And that means that you'll be able to get your, what? Hey, you filled out the form. I'm reading your form. We will try to get you a hand washing station close by. Anyway, actually, do or do not, there is no try. We'll get you something. We will set you up something. So they're coming and making sure y'all are fed. And I know Chef Brett has some stuff up his sleeves. And it's if you tried the tamales that they made last time, they were delicious. So, hey, Grumpy, you want to hop on? I'm going to send you the link right now. Hold on. I'm going to do this. I hit invite. I hit copy in your email, Grumpy. If you want to hop on, will be a link. If only it would send. Why are you? Oh, because you have to put the whole email in or it doesn't work. So, you know, if you feel like it, you can jump in. It's in your inbox now. Okay, I've got a couple questions in we're going to answer. And what are some quiet animals I can keep for meat? The two animals that come to mind for me are quail, which you can actually keep quail in a garage, and is if you keep up on, you know, dealing with their poop, no smells, no noises that are going to bug your neighbors, and they're very prolific egg producers, and you get meat. In fact, tonight, right before I came on here, we had a holler neighbor dinner, and quail legs, not quail eggs, but quail legs were one of the things we ate, and they had jambalaya, and it was delicious. Somebody else in comments already said rabbits. Rabbits are a very quiet animal as well. And I know a lot of people who have lived in the cities who have raised pet rabbits that accidentally produce more rabbits, and they quietly process those. Nobody knows what's going on. As long as nobody can see what's going on, you know, do what you got to do. And those are some fairly quiet animals. Grumpy and Yoda are the best. They are absolutely awesome. Awesome people. Okay. So I thought I would bring a griddle and make keto, non-keto barbecue nachos by my demo area. Jason, email me and I will link you in with the food crew. What we're trying to do is complement each other's efforts, and that would be something we could we can definitely talk about that. Nobody's going to say no to you on that one. So, might be speaking on building a cancel-proof digital life. Did I not say yes to that already, Evan? If I didn't, my apologies, because I thought I said yes to that, but I may not. I may have just forwarded it to Dawn when you emailed that to me. I would love you to speak on that topic. I think it's a really good topic. I also am looking for somebody to talk about decentralized social networks and how to use them, some examples of ones, and why it's important. I'm personally pretty invested time-wise into the Nostr network, because rather than being an app on my phone, it is a protocol, kind of like email is a protocol. It's decentralized, and I can use any app I want that is able to bring it in to access my information, which means if one app goes full retard on me about whatever issues I don't want to deal with, or starts trying to censor, I can just go on to another one and all my stuff ports over, and I don't have to do annoying backups and exports and imports and all of those things. So I would love somebody to talk about that. And I know that Renegade Butcher and the Lots Project are coming, and they know a lot about it. So I'm hoping maybe they will hear me hinting that I want somebody to talk about that and be like, hey, Nicole, okay, finally we're taking the hint and we're going to talk about it. But, or anybody else. Like, there's a lot of interesting things happening on that social network. So what else do you guys want to hear about? Not everybody wants nachos. Everybody wants nachos. Hi, Toyo Inc. Toyo Inc. Toyo. That's really hard to say, just from a mouth perspective. Good evening, Nicole. Hope all is well in the holler. We're having a good time in the holler today. Today went really fast, and many of you know I'm doing 75 hard, so I talk about it all the time. It's kind of like being in CrossFit. You just got to talk about it all the time and be annoying to your friends. That's what I do. And so fitting in the 2 45-minute workouts before the 7 p.m. live stream had to happen today, which is fine. I was like, I knew this going in, and then we had a holler neighbor dinner at 6:30, which was half an hour before now. So I had some food and then came here, and if I'm hungry for seconds, then I'll come afterwards. But it was nice because we haven't had a holler neighbor dinner in a really long time. And it was like we live near each other. Toy Town Inc. Thank you. It's the eyes. But we had a nice one. And they made a keto-friendly jambalaya and keto-friendly dinner rolls that were made out of cheese, almond flour, and egg. And those were super delicious. And then Nighthawk brought cherries that are not keto at all. And I brought quail legs. And I did a garden saute. I was like, I'll do a garden saute. So it's 47,000 degrees outside when I'm in my garden picking all the stuff for the saute, because I didn't pick it this morning. I wanted it to be fresh. I was like, we'll just cook whatever comes out of the garden, right? And the first rule of 75 Hard is tell everyone about 75 Hard. Exactly. I love it. I do not regret doing it. And I highly recommend you check out Andy Frisella, episode 250 something. Well, if you just go to 75hard.com, actually, you'll find all of the information. Definitely worth a listen. And it has changed my life in a lot of really good ways. And I needed it this year. So, but I was out in the garden and man, it was hot. And I managed to get all that stuff. Episode 208. Thank you so much. I bet that's Amanda. It's always, like Facebook user is always Facebook user. I never know who you are. It might not be Amanda, but often Facebook user is Amanda. But I got my first zucchini of the year. We had Swiss chard. I had green beans coming on. I grabbed some herbs from there and did a saute with onions that we grew. I grew onions this year. So I don't usually grow onions, but I realized that the farmers around me are starting to age out and that I have to actually put on my big girl panties and grow onions because they're not going to be growing onions anymore. And the reason I didn't grow them is in past years, I would put the onions in and I'd get little onions. And this year I didn't have a resounding success of these big, beautiful onions, but I got bigger onions. I got like golf ball, a little bigger than golf ball size onions. And I'm calling that a step in the right direction. And that's the thing about gardening. 208 Aurora. Yeah. It's not 208 here. It's not 208 degrees. Oh, no, it's episode 208. Sorry. I figured it was the Aurora from Texas, where it's hotter than here. But I think what I need to do is work the soil a little differently next time and mulch it differently. And maybe I might actually grow them in mounds next time. That's what I'm going to try next year. But at the end of the day, I put onions in and I got more onions out. And that's kind of how gardening works. It's like it's an evolution as you go. And that's why it's so important to do things like come to Self-Reliance Festival, learn a new skill, a heritage skill of some sort. It could be training defense dogs. It could be learning how to do your area assessment. That's what we learned from Mike Shelby last time. It could be learning how to start your business. It could be learning trapping. It could be, a lot of people have learned blacksmithing there. And you get the skill, and the first time you do it, you might kind of suck at it. And then you keep trying and you keep trying and you improve and you critically look at what you're doing. And next thing you know, you're teaching the trapping class 6 months from now, right? I did that 2 weeks ago. I learned how to spin wool, with a spinning wheel. And the wool I spun is very inconsistent. Like my yarn is big and little and big and little. And I learned that beginning spinner yarn is something people pay a premium for because it's unpredictable. Boy, is it ever unpredictable. But now I can, once a week work on spinning. It's the same with the garden. You grow some things and you fail at some things and you ask yourself why. I have been at this property gardening for 15 years. Some years more intensively than others. But my end of the world economic crash, like SHTF plan for food production, if I can stay here, is produce food here. And I didn't want to depend on the can, having never grown a thing, my first time out of the door, if I'm just depending on that for survival. So, I love gardening anyway. I find it peaceful. It resets me. But my first garden here wasn't great, and I have fought for 14 years late blight in my tomatoes. And last year, I heard, and here's what happens, guys, when you're like, but I really like tomatoes. I'm going to keep growing tomatoes. You try everything every old timer tells you to do to get rid of the blight. You spray it with whey from your cheese. You spray it with milk and salt water. You spray it with Dawn dish soap. You try everything. You mulch it so there can't be any black splash. You try putting plastic down so there can't be any backsplash. You try everything possible. And then you hear somebody say, if you put aspirin in the soil when you put your tomatoes in, it keeps the blight away. And you scoff and you try it anyway, and it worked. So last year it worked. And I was like, I'm going to ask the other farmers if they had late blight. And they said, not really. And I was like, so it didn't work. What happened is the year I tried aspirin, it worked. So this year, my friend gave me plants that she had started as seedlings. She planted them at her house, which is nearby. I planted them here. I did the aspirin thing. And I replenish aspirin about once a month. In fact, it's time for me to put aspirin out. And today I sent her a text and I said, how's your blight? She said, terrible. It's like eating up my tomatoes. And I was like, I don't have any blight. I have like 2 leaves on one plant right now with blight. And I told her what I did. And I did 2 things. I did the aspirin trick. And I did use that foliar spray with the wood vinegar in it before the plants put flowers on. No blight. So 14 years it took me to figure that out. And that's why it's so important to start the process of learning these things, whatever it is you're going to learn. Oh, episode 209 for 75 Hard. Somebody says, hi, I keep trying to do keto, but just can't seem to stick with it. The faster I lose, the faster I gain it back. 75 Hard has really helped me stick with keto because my diet of choice is ketovore. I have a carb count over which I cannot go. And I took everything out of my house that is not compliant with my diet. So there is like, it's not like, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat those chips. They're not here. I mean, I took steps because I was like, I'm going to be successful at this. And the way I'm successful is I commit to this, and committing to it means there's no temptation here. I mean, I have alcohol in the house and that hasn't been a temptation for me, but yeah. So Nicole, I can't find the form to fill out on the website. Just email me. Fill out the contact form. We do not have a speaker form at this point. We send a form when we put you on as a speaker, where you send us your logo and all of that stuff. I just thought it was better to do that once you're committed to being a speaker rather than get that from everybody and then tell people no. And I see Grumpy Acres is in the house. Hello.
Hey. What is this, 700 meals each time? 700 meals each time?
No, 700 total.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's doable.
She's like, what? I am not doing 700 meals each time.
I was like dying over here. I'm like, oh my gosh. G wasn't even home, so he had no idea what's going on.
No, it's just that you're doing so many meals, the cumulative. So like you're doing meals, Brett's doing meals. I think that Andy's also doing meals. I haven't looked at his form yet.
Yeah.
But it was 700. He's like, is 700 enough, Nicole? I'm like, that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, that's good.
So all your food sounds great.
Yeah, if we get the numbers, the tamales take a while. I can pre-make those, so that's not a big deal. And then the wraps are easy. And so I just know how many different diets we had out there. So I just want to make sure we can accommodate everybody, right? So
yeah. And that's the thing. It's as much as I would like to say we all eat the proper human diet, we don't. Different people do different things. It was so funny. I was with my family recently, and I am like, my family's mystified about how to feed me whenever we're around each other. And I'm like, well, is there meat?
Right.
Well, what else do you want? Meat. Right. I mean, I eat other things, but you don't have to like think about it. Just if there's a steak, I'm happy. If there's a burger patty, I'm happy. And another one, on the extreme opposite, 2 other family members are completely plant-based.
Yeah. So it was really funny. We had a surprise party for somebody in the community and went to a restaurant that cooks their own food, right? Everything is supposed to be made in-house. And so I got my meal and I went to the salad bar, and I go to the salad bar and I come back, and next thing you know, I'm running through the restaurant asking who has Benadryl. And I could feel it coming. I literally had to get in the truck, go to the grocery store, get Benadryl, and then I could come back to the party. Then to find out the person sitting across from me, who I did not ask, had Benadryl. So, MSG is a thing, and, you just can't do that. Turns out on the salad bar, they have one dish that is not made in-house, and I got it.
You got that dish. Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of funny. I was just traveling in Montana, and because all I do is talk about 75 hard, this is a 75 hard story. And in order to make sure I stayed on plan, I had my bag with my clothes and whatnot, and I had the second bag of freeze-dried meals that I'd made. And I was like, so no matter what, I just all I need is hot water. I add water to these and I'm done. And it worked. That's all I ate pretty much the whole time. I bought a couple things, to complement it at the grocery store, but
yeah,
it worked great. And I felt great the whole time. So now I'm like, okay, so I wasn't sick from eating something I bought at a restaurant. So now that means that I'm freeze drying a lot more meals, or I'm going to buy them from you.
Right. Well, thank you.
I mean, I might need to because I'm just about out of meals right now.
I just literally put in and got out. Well, I've got blueberries coming out tonight, but because at SRF our fruit sells out, so I just try to do as much fruit as I can right now, and it's specifically for SRF. And not that we don't sell them at other festivals, but we always sell out at yours. And so trying to get through that. But I just did a lamb goulash. And Garen was super excited. And so I know you don't like chicken, turkey, and that kind of stuff. There's no pork in it. I did one with just lamb, and it's delicious.
Yeah. I like pork too. I had a tainted pork in my freezer for a year and a half.
It happens. Did you butcher it yourself, or did somebody else butcher it?
No, it was somebody else, and it was just, they had been castrated. They needed to have been castrated longer before it went, and that's fine. Everybody else in the holler couldn't taste it, so I just kept smoking it and giving it away, and smoking it and I was like, oh, it's this one again. I actually found one package of it.
You could smell it
this week. I can smell it, and I'm like, I'll cook it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other day at breakfast, it was chorizo made with that thing.
Oh.
And so I cooked chorizo. I was like, oh yeah. And I put out breakfast, and chorizo's in its own separate little thing. And Tactical walks in, and I'm like, that chorizo is all you. He's like, why? It's like, it's that pig. He's like, okay. And he just ate it. He doesn't care. Yeah, I might buy some. You know what? We'll talk after about how I maybe could mail order some of that, because I have some more travel, and I don't think I'm going to be getting anything freeze dried before I leave town again. So
dang, you got a busy list then.
Yeah, it's crazy this summer, but it's crazy of my own making. So I am not complaining about that.
Did you go up to Michigan? Were you up there with Tag?
I was not in Michigan with Tag. I was in Montana with Paul Wheaton.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm going to Jack Spirko's 15th anniversary next week in Dallas. Cool. Which that will be fine food-wise, but then I go to Oregon and somewhere else in August. So
yeah. I'm actually sending out. There was somebody that my husband works with her, and she has a friend that's traveling a trail, and in 2 weeks from today, she's going to be in Oregon. And sorry, we got a puppy that did not get let out with my husband. So so I'm going to send her a care package because she's been eating some Mountain House. And it's not good. She's suffering on the trail. So I said I would send a care package out. So I'll have that to her in 2 weeks.
Awesome. Do you know where she's hiking in Oregon?
Hang on just a second. I'll get it, and I'll tell you where her next meetup is.
Awesome. Hey, guys, in the live feed, if there are any questions you have, throw them up. I have one here. What is the picture on your shirt? This is the Controversy Blend Coffee T-shirt. This is an oldie but a goodie from Special Operations Equipment. It's one of my favorites, and I got this T-shirt when my first time I did coffee for Special Operations Equipment. He reprinted these shirts, and that's when I got this shirt. And I don't wear it very often because I don't want to wear it out. But I decided tonight was coffee night, and it's a play on the Starbucks logo. And anyway, it offends some people, but that's just,
Don't buy the shirt if you're
Don't
offended.
buy this shirt if you're offended. Exactly. Like,
Right.
not my problem.
So,
Not my monkey, not my circus.
yeah. So, did you see that goulash is with your coffee, the dark roast?
Oh, no, I didn't. That's cool.
Yeah, we put it out there. Hopefully, you got more orders. Cascade Locks, Oregon. So,
Okay.
whatever that trail is.
I know where that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will not be near there. I'll be further south. But yeah, it's a
Yeah,
nice area. I grew up near there.
Yeah, so I'm excited. We'll get her some food that won't make her sick.
That's the thing is once you start eating clean, it's almost like you get sicker when you don't eat clean, and people maybe say that's a bad thing, but I think what happens is we're just sick all the time and don't realize it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a viewer actually tonight, kind of walking her through. She had a fall, and the first thing the doctors wanted to do was put her on prednisone. So she needed a steroid and she needed a hydrocodone. And I was like, when she told me she fractured see if I remember this right, the T12, I think is what she said. And I was like, do you have comfrey salve? Do you have Tylenol? Do you have, and I was like, what? There's no reason that you need to be putting all that crap down your throat. It's just going to give her moon face. And she literally just had a stent put in, I think about 3-4 weeks ago. So, and they want to put her on steroids.
Yeah.
Not good.
Not good. Being on steroids is no fun.
Nope.
I do everything to avoid that.
Yep. So I'm trying to walk her through that. Garen gets upset. He's like, you're not a doctor. And I'm like, I know, but they're killing people. And so, I don't know. We work our witch doctor magic around here.
So I just wanted to say, Jason Moyer, welcome to the membership. I know that's for Special Operations Equipment YouTube channel because it is not for mine or the SRF channel since we don't have membership set up. But you're going to love being a member. I'm a member of the SOE channel, and it's well worth the whole $1 I spend every month on that.
We need to change that. We need to get membership set in. Garen and I have talked about that.
Yeah.
And I think I can put a lot of our recipes and stuff like that out there. I've noticed a lot of people are watching our recipes and they've got a freeze dryer. Next thing you know, they're taking our recipes and they're selling our recipes.
Are you a Harvest Right affiliate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that I have sold one in a year.
I don't think we've sold any.
If you sell one, it's not enough to get a check, but someday I'll sell a second one. It'll be great.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to get to the point that I'm ordering a Harvest Rate once every month. So I'll just pay myself, get the discount, right?
You're going to sell out of lamb goulash before you get to bring it to Self-Reliance Festival, just so you know.
I got lamb on the hoof. It's not a big deal.
I tried to get tagged to jump on. I got a response saying, nope, been in the garden. I'm going to go take a shower. I'm like, they don't know how sweaty I was before I jumped in front of this camera.
Like, this is Yoda with no makeup. I'm soaking wet. I mean, it just is what it is. And I was like, oh, it's Nicole. I don't care. I'm not going to put on lipstick. I just got to figure out how to get into a computer to figure it out.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. This time of day on a homestead in the summer is when you are out in the garden because it's not as hot. The sun's not hitting you, but you can still see and you're doing things because if I'm in town, I'm doing things in the garden or I'm canning something, right?
Yeah.
So we just, we don't look glamorous at this time of day.
Nah. We still look hot. We're hot.
We're hot homesteading chicks.
Homestead hairdo.
Yeah.
Gotta keep the hair off the neck, man. Oh, man.
Yeah.
My hair is so thick, I will just drop. I'll drop in the garden. It's terrible. So
tell me this. Why do you keep coming back to Self-Reliance Festival? Because you've been there a few times now. Like, what makes you put that much effort in?
So G's been there twice. I've only been there once. When we went last time, one of the things that I noticed is that it's a lot like Midwest Preparedness Festival, right? So unshameful plug. I'm sorry. We're doing the Three Sisters right here.
Yeah, I'm going to pull that graphic up in a second. So hold on.
Yeah. So basically what we're doing is trying to build community and that kind of thing. Aaron and Darren actually went before I did. And so they went, they really liked it. And he said, we ought to go and set up a vendor tent and do that kind of thing. Now, we had no idea what was going to happen when we got there, right? So,
Right.
so the day before we left, I fell and busted my knee. So I'm on crutches and it was miserable. And, but I still had a good time with the people. And then the food trucks didn't show up. And so
Oh,
then I had to cook, right?
yeah. You cooked
And
the whole time.
yeah. And so I'm on crutches and God bless everybody. Everybody was just like trying to talk to me and, ask me questions. And then they were like, no, you're busy. You're busy. And I'm like, I'm reconstituting meals. Ask me what you want. But there were a lot of people that needed the information, right?
Yeah.
And so we did the food preservation, which we see a lot of people doing food preservation just at the beginner stage, and
Yeah.
they're not going to the advanced stage. And I think a lot of people at this point are looking towards that middle and advanced stage. They're trying to figure it out. How do I smoke my meat? How do I hang my meat? How do I can my meat? What am I doing here? So we're not just teaching vegetables and that kind of thing. And I had so many people afterwards because we went from salt to vinegar and that kind of thing. And everybody had come up and they had so many questions and so many suggestions, and they were helpful. And Sarah Lena offered to help ghostwrite a book for me. I haven't taken her up on that yet because I don't have time. But I had so many people just reaching out, trying to be part of the community and building a community that it worked. And so that's one reason that we keep going back. And if we can help you grow and we continue to help you grow, we will continue to go.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because you want everybody to be successful. That's what a community is about. You don't want someone to fail. You really want to help people build. And so that's what we're working on. And the whole community, it felt, you said it felt different last time. And
it was different.
I noticed that. I really did, even around the campfire. So G was in talking to John, I think, and they were doing whatever. And I'm around the campfire and everybody was just asking me, like, where's G? Where's G? I was like, he's probably drinking a beer with John Willis. So they were like, oh, and then he got back there and it was just question after question. And not that they were sucking us dry of information. They weren't vampires, if that makes sense. They were literally
curious,
wanting the knowledge. Yeah. It was great. It was really good. So that's why we keep coming back.
Yeah. And that's so the Midwest Preparedness Project is the weekend before Self-Reliance Festival. And there's absolutely nothing that can get me out of town the weekend before the Self-Reliance Festival, except the fact that investing in community is super important. And so I'm going to go speak there.
Yes.
And as we got to talking about our events, we came up with this idea, the Great American Preparedness Tour. And here's sort of a graphic about it where you can go from festival to festival to festival. And we've got the Kentucky Sustainable Living Festival, which is 2 weeks after Self-Reliance Festival, the Midwest Preparedness Project, which is the week before, and Self-Reliance Festival. Go to the Three Sisters. And the cool part about doing a tour like that is you'll meet some of the same people there, but you'll meet new people, but you will almost always, well, you probably will always meet people who are near you, even though you're somewhere else. The Kentucky one is in Kentucky. Midwest Preparedness Project is in Kansas, and Self-Reliance Festival, as y'all know, is in Camden, Tennessee. So this is an alliance that we've formed, and I'm kind of thinking of like we should do a drawing or something for a prize for people to go to all three. So they get a passport, they get a stamp or something, and then maybe a drawing for a t-shirts or maybe something cooler than that.
Garen actually, he sent an email to John, has not heard back yet. So we're hoping to hear back from him. I do know that Chuck is on board with the medical supplies, and kind of what we're thinking is maybe John makes a bag. And so at SRF, everybody buys that bag and then they can take it to the vendors who are participating and get 10% off of whatever they buy. And if
Yeah.
they're super smart about it, then they go to our tent and they fill it full of freeze-dried food and take it to the car and empty it out. Then they go to Chuck's and they get all their medical supplies and then go empty it out and then go to the next one. So hopefully we'll get that done. I'm not sure. It's not in writing, but we do have a couple people that are on board with that. So we're kind of hoping that works out.
Well, the other thing we're doing with vendors, and you'll find this out when we reach out to you, is we've done swag bags in the past. We're not doing swag bags this time.
Okay.
We have bags. We can put swag in bags, like we have plastic bags, or you can buy a bag from John Willis at Special Operations Equipment, who's right there. But what we were going to ask vendors to do who want to put something in a swag bag is put that something at their booth and tell us what it is.
Okay.
In advance, and that they have it. And then I was going to do a map of all the vendors that have giveaways, and people can go get it directly from you.
Okay. All right.
And I wanted to do that because, hey, now everybody's it's my turn to bark.
She keeps coming in and out. So
I think somebody walked in my house, which sounds weird, but there are people who are authorized to walk in my house. But that way you get to see the vendor who donated the item, right? Yeah. And talk to them and see what else they have. I think it's actually a better approach to doing that. Yeah, Life Done Free saying the multi-pass. We need to have the Three Sisters mega pass.
Do you know my dad is actually talking, so they have an RV and they travel a lot.
Yeah.
They live in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and they're actually talking about coming and doing the circuit with us. So
awesome.
So it will be super exciting to see them. They'll meet us either Tennessee or Kentucky or maybe here. So yeah, it'll be nice to see my dad again. So
yeah, that sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's see. Chuck says he'll be at all three. So I love this idea of the triple crown. Maybe we need like a princess crown to give a prepper who's been to all three.
You want me to go to Burger King and get those crowns? And I
Burger King
Garrett says special edition T-shirts.
They get a card.
Yeah.
Well, come in here. Get a chair.
Well, I got to go out and watch the animals.
Okay.
Well, hey, Nicole.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
How about they get a token at the first two festivals, and then the last one, which would be, I guess, Kentucky.
Yeah.
They can redeem those two tokens for a free commemorative T-shirt.
I got somebody who can make tokens.
So do we.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And they're wooden, so the wooden nickels, and so ours are. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. We have some.
Something to think about.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. We'd need to know the size of the T-shirts, though, wouldn't we?
Well, yeah. If there's
they could order it and we'd have it drop shipped.
Pre-order the token, maybe.
No, they get the token. They turn the tokens in, and we get their size and can drop ship.
Oh, like do a little slip or something.
Yeah, because we've got ghosts that can do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Nicole's got somebody that can do it.
Well, John can do them. So
what?
The T-shirts.
For the T-shirts.
Yeah, so like if we do a little certificate or something, so they get their tokens, and then at the end,
I gotta go watch animals.
Okay,
Good seeing you, Nicole.
Yes,
and then at the end they get their little certificate. They can fill it out with their address and then what size T-shirt they want and that kind of thing, and then we can just drop ship those. So.
Yeah, I was asked what the first was in the series of the Three Sisters. It's MidwestPreparednessProject.com. Mm-hmm. And it is in Kansas.
Perry Lake.
Perry Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that beautiful graphic. So that's where you start.
That's Jesse, and they're going to be back out here, I think. I know they're coming in August, but I'm not sure if they're going to be at camp or not. Man, they're fabulous people.
Hey, I love how they filled in this upcoming events from freesetting.com. I want to do that on my website.
Yeah. Yeah, we do that so we don't step on each other's toes.
Yeah, I like it. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna talk to Spags about how to get that done.
Yeah. It's easy. Well, I don't know. I didn't create it. They did.
I'm sure it's probably just embed code, which would be really awesome. Yeah. So Hack My Homestead got it. Yeah. Yeah. Merit badge, exactly. Some people are running late. All Nicole's animals are to bed. That's who walked into my house, probably, having put the ducks to bed. Do you have ducks?
We used to have ducks, and ducks are nasty, nasty little creatures. So we do not have ducks anymore. We left those with the old homestead. When we sold everything, I was like, how many, I asked them, I said, how many chickens do you want? How many hogs do you want? And this kind of thing. And they bought what they wanted. And the things that I didn't want, I just left. Like, you get more ducks than you wanted. So
it's funny. I have ducks, but I have a spring-fed pond.
uh-huh.
So I don't get the nasty part of the ducks that other people get. And I get all the benefits, which means delicious duck eggs.
Yeah, I love duck eggs. And we actually, to be honest, Spags, I'm going to get some duck eggs from him. We probably won't get that infrastructure in until next year, though. So
yeah,
right now we're working on turkeys. We're doing exclusive for the American breasties. And then we've got our chickens. So, but the breasties right now are what we're trying to build. So
yeah, are you going to try to get them to marble by finishing them on grain, or are you just going to go straight up?
I don't know. We haven't got there yet, so we'll kind of figure it out. Garen's talking about doing some chicken tractors and then trying to get that in there. If we do that, we'll probably go all natural. They're huge, even on all naturals. So there's really no reason to get grain.
Yeah.
I don't know. We do a lot of free range around here. That's also why we get gifted Great Pyrenees and Border Collies and all of that. I've got 2 new puppies in the last month and a half.
I have mine in a Victory Garden setup right now, and they're American. They're the American breasts, and I got a straight run, which means I have like 7 females and all the rest are males, and they're just at that age where they're realizing it's time to fight. So we're gonna be processing some boys.
You just throw all the roosters in one tractor.
I don't have them in a tractor right now. I have them; they're out. They go into a coop at night, and it's the only piece of like real automation I have on the homestead is the door that opens itself and shuts itself, which I love.
We don't have that. I have to go out there and do it, or Garen does. But we've noticed the first crew that we had hatch. They're now sleeping with the turkeys, which I thought was very interesting. So trying to figure that one out. I'm not sure if it's the size or maybe they're intimidated by the chickens, the other chickens. I don't know. But the little gray silver legs are kind of freaking me out, though. I'm not going to lie.
I kind of like them.
Do you?
Yeah, I kind of like it. It's like, so we've been hatching ducks from our own duck eggs. Because our ducks are not raising their own ducks, or they're like not quite getting it done, or predators get the babies when they're raising them. So finally, we're just going to incubate. My first incubator, I got 9, all female. The second incubation, we got 8, also all female.
Huh.
So I'm getting all female ducks off of my Drake right now, which is interesting.
It's very interesting because you know how that works, right? So I don't know how many males you have, but I'm going to try to put this so we don't get canceled. They, when they mate, it is very particular to who they're with. So how are you taking care of that?
I just let it free. They're free. So my flock right now had shrunk to 1 Drake and about 7 females, which is a good ratio for fertility. And he just does what he wants when he wants. And then we save the eggs. So when I incubate, it's about 20 eggs. And I candle them and I throw out the ones that are not fertile. And there were 4 or 5 of those. And then successful hatch, I don't assist in hatching. They go. Because I figure if they're not strong enough, then it's not good. And it was
9 times out of 10, you can't get them to survive anyway, helping them.
Yeah, right. It's not worth my time. So, So it was just funny to me that for 2 batches, I've gotten all females.
That would be.
He's throwing X's, is what I'm saying.
That would be nice to have around here. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I have a lot of roosters running around.
Yeah. It's funny because in contrast, my chicken flock is too many males. But Yeah.
Yeah.
And males on the homestead, once they've done their job, are not useful. I was just talking, you know how you can eat squash flowers, right? They're delicious.
Yeah. You eat
And
the
then my neighbor, he's like, but then you won't get the squash. I'm like, just eat the male flowers. Once it's done its
Right.
job, you don't need it anymore. Just like
Right.
every other male on the homestead. And he's like, you're keeping tactical, right?
Oh my goodness. We sound like a couple black widows over here. Oh man, no, we need the men, we need the males, but yeah, no, there's a balance to everything. So
Yeah.
but yeah, no, especially in homesteading, we have to keep that balance. We've actually got 2 male goats that are going out. Hopefully this weekend. I need to make that call again and make sure that she's going to take them before I go. I've got a birthday party I got to go to, so I was just going to hook up the horse trailer and throw those in there. And then we've got 2 sheep, 2 males for sure, 2 rams going out on Sunday. A lot of people now are starting to see that they need to get fit, and so they're getting with a lot of the working on their diet, nutritionists, and that kind of thing. And so a lot of people are being driven to the lamb. And so now they're eating so much lamb that they can't keep it in. So now it seems like that's all we're doing is just getting rid of lamb. Which is fine. I've got cow coming. So on August 21st, it's got its locker date. So I got to get freezer clear. So, but yeah,
I don't get my cow till December. I don't think we're gonna get a cow in December and then another one somewhere around. So 2 cows coming in. That I get one with a friend and she takes half and I take half, and so much red meat gets eaten here at this point that it's sort of a 2 cow family. And by family I mean the greater Holler neighbor family, not just
right.
I'm not eating a whole cow by myself even in a year.
No, Garen and
It's
I
a lot.
can't even do that. But we do the same thing. We got community that needs things, or locker dates get pushed back, that kind of thing. And we're like, okay, we have this much burger and we've got this much steak, and what do we need? So,
well, in all my events here, I serve that from the freezer. Like I don't buy commercial beef unless we're out here. So which hasn't happened in a number of years.
It's a gamble, 50-50. It can either kill you or it's fine. It's one of the two.
Or it's fine. Yeah.
And now you got all that lab created meats, and have fun with that.
Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't even gone down that particular rabbit hole because I decided that my time was better spent getting people to come to Self-Reliance Festival and have fun with us.
Are you seeing I'm down a rabbit hole? I just buy more freezers. Get your meat out there. Store it on the hoof. It's a hell of a lot cheaper.
It is.
It really is. Yeah.
Tactical says he can eat a whole cow, and he's probably right. I made 3 pounds of was reverse engineering a recipe that was at my spring workshop, which was a Salisbury steak recipe that's keto friendly. So you thicken the gravy with freeze-dried mushroom powder.
Nice.
And Chef Brett made it up, and he told me what he put in it, but he hadn't measured anything. So I was like, well, we'll just try. And I made 3 pounds of that, like 3 pounds of meat. That doesn't count the gravy, right? Which is from bone broth that we made here. He ate 2 pounds of it in one night.
Whoa. Wow.
So he's not wrong. He can, for a skinny guy, he can put a lot of food away.
What kind of mushrooms were they?
I just used I bought those at the store. So just like the button mushrooms is what I used.
The brown ones or the white ones?
The white ones, but you can use any. You can use it. Like if I have a big oyster mushroom score, I'll just powder. In fact, I have some freeze-dried oyster mushrooms I could powder up.
Yeah, we're getting ready because we've only been here a year and a half, and so we've got our cultures in the refrigerator because we were not going to leave those at the old homestead.
Yeah,
but we just found out. So Kansas has a little bit of a loophole, and so the CBD shops, it is legal to go ahead and sell kits for illegal mushrooms and legal mushrooms.
Yeah.
And so we can go in and get those. And G wants me to go pick up a bunch. So I'm going to go get some and we'll get that stuff in. So we should have some lion's mane. And I miss that.
Nice. Lion's mane's so good.
Yeah, I miss my lion's mane, chicken of the woods, all of that. We get them out here, but the problem is the animals. We're so far out in the country that animals get to them before I can. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of mushrooms this year, but I'm hoping I get a fall flush in the area because I used to get more oyster mushrooms than I could handle every year.
yes.
In order to do this, it requires hiking in the woods on the regular basis.
Right.
And I was hiking elsewhere. So
yeah. But I also, I realized too, we haven't had the amount of rain this year that what we had in the past either.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the problem. So
yeah.
But,
Yeah. Chuck says, Andy gets injured a lot. This is about tactical. Keeps me on my toes. I'm making a tactical redneck med kit. That's a great idea.
That's awesome.
Cool. Well, on that note, I think we're about an hour in, guys, and I didn't see a lot of questions about logistics, but thanks for joining the live stream. If you want to help get the word out about Self-Reliance Festival, Midwest Preparedness Project, and the Kentucky Sustainable Living Festivals, the three sisters of preparedness, get people to get their Triple Crowns. Like, spread the word. That helps us. And well, it helps me know how many people are coming when people get their tickets. Early bird prices go up August 1st for us. And we decided to make your ticket refundable through August 15th, minus the credit card processing fee, so that people who aren't quite sure have a bit of a cushion this time. So, yeah. So we'll hope to see you soon, guys.
Way cool. Can't wait to cook for you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks. We'll be there.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Hey, let me know what I need to do for vendor tent and all that stuff. I heard you said you don't have the speaking engagement form up. So
yeah,
we'll talk. Let me know. Yep.
Bye.
Bye.